Have you ever gone through something so painful that it felt like your entire life fell apart, but you still had to go to work the next morning? You still had bills to pay. You had responsibilities. You had people counting on you. That's what I want to talk about today, because there was a time in my life that it felt like my entire world stopped. The problem was everybody else's kept moving. Welcome to Have I Got Something to Say? I'm your host, Roberta Zambelli. Let's get into it. So when my relationship ended, I was completely blindsided. I was shocked, devastated, trying to make sense of something that suddenly didn't make sense anymore. One minute, I thought I knew what my future looked like. The next minute, I didn't. And honestly, that's one of the hardest parts. You're not just grieving a person. You're grieving the future you thought you were going to have. But here's what nobody tells you. The world doesn't stop. You still have to get up. You still have to go to work. You still have to pay the bills. You still have to be a parent. And you still have to show up. And somehow you're expected to function while your heart is breaking. I remember thinking, how am I supposed to get through the day when I can barely think straight? The people closest to me knew I wasn't okay. But most people, they had no idea. They saw me functioning. They saw me showing up. But what they didn't see were the days I cried, the anxiety, the panic, the loneliness, the plans I made and then canceled because I couldn't bring myself to leave the house, and the phone calls I didn't answer, the mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. People saw me, but they didn't really see me. And maybe you've experienced that too. Maybe you've gone through something difficult and everybody assumed you were okay because you kept moving. The first few months were the hardest, without question. But somewhere around 6 months, something started changing. Not because I suddenly felt better, not because everything magically worked out, but because I started realizing this was now my reality. And I had a choice. I could stay stuck in what happened, or I could slowly start building a new life. One small step at a time. Looking back now, I realized something. I was stronger than I thought I was. Not because I wanted to be, but because I had to be. There wasn't a backup plan. There wasn't somebody coming to rescue me. I had to keep going. And maybe that's why I value peace so much today. Maybe that's why I protect my time. Because I know what it feels like to survive something I never thought I'd survive. And maybe that's the lesson. Sometimes life knocks the wind out of you. Sometimes your world stops. But eventually, you get up. You keep moving. And one day you realize you're going to be okay. Not because it didn't hurt, but because you made it through it. If this episode connected with you, share it with someone who may need to hear it too. And if you're finding me over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe because we are just getting started. This is Have I Got Something to Say? And remember, you're good.